it looks like we are live. We're going to get started here. Looks like we are. Whoa. Am I getting any feedback here? All right, my friends, community members, and soldiers of self-mastery here. We are getting ready to get started. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Guest community member to 30 to 45 minutes of upgrading your mind and spirit for winning against the wrong bet, the lie. I'm going to say that again. For winning against the wrong bet. Gambling's a lie. Cards, large, sports, ports, slots, bots, roulette, don't sweat. Get in, buckle up, turn down the noise, grab a pen. Did you bring a friend? Did you bring a friend? We're all going through something. Are you going through something difficult tonight? Make sure you bring a pen, right? You got to bring a pen. And did you make sure you strap in real well? Put your seatbelt on real well because we're going for a ride. Topic, what lies underneath. Jim, hopefully Jim will join us tonight. Here we're going to be discussing that topic a little bit. What lies underneath? Jim and a few others were commenting on a video that I posted, and I thought it was interesting. At least, let me see. Laura thought it was interesting too, so I thought I would bring it into this conversation. But I'm here to answer your question. Why are we here? We're here to seek direction. We're here to gain strength, to build peace, optimize the mind, and refresh our spirit. Is that why you're here? And you're here because gambling is a lie. Say it with me. Gambling is a lie. Gambling is a lie. By the way, I got a few things that I'm going to be reading. Wanted to share a few ideas. You know, your mistakes can be turned around into great things. And I just want to do a little bit of a warning here. I might end up getting some flying monkeys coming around, possibly. You never know. Hey, Jim, welcome. We're going to be bringing up this topic that you posted on in my video. So get ready. We're going to bring you on the screen a little bit here. I might have to make some changes on my audio, but we'll get into that. I'm excited. Today is Sunday. I'm getting ready to go back to my gig later on tonight. What do you got planned for Monday? What do you have planned for Tuesday? What do you have planned for Wednesday, for Thursday and Friday? Are you set? Are you planting seed? We got a proverb coming up. And what else? We're going to have a drink together. Hey, we're going to have a drink together. Celebrate. I got Kool-Aid in here. Keith, welcome. Jim, welcome. Race, Mark. We got a few people that are just coming in late. So, Jim, we're getting ready to, let's get started. What lies underneath? Where am I headed? Where am I going? Should I give a shit about where I'm going and where I'm headed and what my life is all about? Or should I just live and wait to die? By the way, I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad that you're supporting this mission. Facebook, we are live Facebook. We're live LinkedIn. Shout out to LinkedIn there. Just want to let you know, LinkedIn, that there is classes available. There's mentorship, and there's coaching for those that qualify. LinkedIn. Facebook, shout out to Facebook, and of course, famous YouTube. Do you have a question tonight that you want to have myself or Coach Jim expound on and bring some ideas and some clarity, maybe help you get, find the path, the step, or make the step a little bit more clearer for you? Do you have a question? I'd love to see if we can dig into that question and see how I can support you, Jim, and others that are here. We're all in this together, right? I would hope. I mean, this is a no gambling zone. This is a no gambling zone. My friend, if you're listening to me wherever you might be, if you have intentions of gambling, if you have intentions to continue to gamble to get some gain out of it, this is not the place for you. Really, it's not. This is not the place for you. This is the place for folks that want to live gambling free. You want to have power and the ability within yourself and in your mind to say no. To say no. Temptation, no more. You know, that you get into a situation where it becomes real difficult for you and you get angry, right? You get angry. You're bothered. You want to escape, go somewhere. And the trigger comes around. No, no, no. Gambling's a lie. Mark Cameroon says, over 6 months clean and rolling a doobie. Sounds good right now. Rolling a doobie. Anyways, 6 months clean. What's really important now, what's really important is not what you've accomplished. That's important. Yes, but it's gone. It's done. What's important now? Think about it with me. And anybody else out there that's got a little bit of time underneath your belt, what's important for you right now? What you've done in the past and what you've got in 6 months, that's important for you, right? Because it's a stepping stone. What's important for you is what you do today and what you do tomorrow going forward. That's what's important. That's what we need to get into. I'm going through one of the most difficult times of my life. How about you on the other side? Are you going through one of the most difficult times of your life? You know what they say about people when they go through difficult times? It's funny, life has a way of testing you, right? You see what you're really made out of. You see, laugh out now, can't drug test it at work. You be safe, my friend. You be safe. All right. Jim, I'm going to read the Psalm because time is going to go by very quick. It's going to go by very quick. Jim, I'm going to post the share link in here. And you can, oh, not that one. That's the wrong one. No, you don't want that one. No, you don't want that one. Anyways, I'm going to be posting it here in just a moment. But I wanted to share something with you here. Oh, what was it that I wanted to read out of my book? My little book. Before I read the proverb, here's one that I'm going to read to you. The only easy day was yesterday. This nation will remain the land of the free only so long as it is the home of the brave. As long as it is only the home of the brave, it will remain free. Listen to that. The United States is under siege. The United States is under siege, just like our lives are under siege. By the way, I may forget to say this, but I'm going to make sure that I remind you because your good life is going to come out of a good series of good, constant, positive reminders, right? Gambling, say it with me. Gambling is a lie. Good tone, good ring. Gambling is a lie. It's like fundamentals, basics 101. Gambling is a lie. Hey, Jason, let me see. We have someone. By the way, if you have a question, please, and we're going to be bringing on, but I got to read the proverb here. What if I'm single man without kids, financially secure? You think it's okay to visit casinos and responsibly to play? Jason. Well, the question is, I'm going to ask you in response to a good question that you're presenting there. What if I'm single? Single man is, that's a good thing to be, right? It's good to have a partner, but it's also good to be single. And without kids, that can be a really good blessing because children bring a lot of responsibilities today more than ever. Would you agree with that? Financially secure, which is great. You think it's okay to visit casinos and responsibly play? Well, if you're asking me, for me, no, not for me. But you have to ask yourself the question. Can you be responsible and play? I'll tell you one thing, the casinos will beat you. The slots, the bots, the ports, the sports, right? The roulette, you sweat, the craps, the slaps, they will get you unless you are really, really, really good, really smart. You've got a discipline within yourself that you hit the casino and you win and you leave. You hit the casino and you win and you leave. Now, some people can have that mindset. The problem that I have with that is I'm taking the people's money that have lost. Now that I'm out, right? If I was to go back in with the mindset that I have a very strong mindset. I've been in casinos and I didn't gamble. I could feel the urge, but I didn't gamble because I didn't really need to. Now, there was a time that I couldn't do that at all. So, you have to ask yourself the question, are you strong enough? Because this thing is a serpent and it's very poisonous. It is the poison is like that. It's like the poison that gets you, but it doesn't knock you out right away, right? It doesn't kill you right away. It's a slow process until it reaches a certain point. Then it just takes off. You find yourself broke. You find yourself living on the streets, suicidal, broken relationships, broken promises. You're bleeding all over the place. You can't stop the hemorrhaging. What is bleeding? Well, life is in your blood. So when you're bleeding, you're hemorrhaging, you're just losing your life. You're losing, your freedom. You're losing your peace. You're losing your tranquility. All of these wonderful things. We all want peace. We have to work really hard to maintain these things. Hey, Laura. Welcome, Laura. Laura says, I bought a lottery ticket today. Well, if you would have won from that lottery ticket, you could have donated half of it to this mission. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to play a lottery ticket once in a while or something, I don't have a problem with that. I even bought, what did I buy? I went to a store last month and I had $1 and I think it was $1 and I decided to buy the quick pick. I gambled. All right, I'm guilty of it. I don't do that often. In fact, I really don't do it at all. I was just with a friend and we bought a ticket. Every once in a while, if you spend $1 or $2 on a lottery ticket, one of these major lottery tickets, I think the casino's a little different. But anyhow, I don't gamble. I don't really care to gamble. This is a no gambling zone. Don't feel bad because you fell and you got mud on your face, right? You scraped your kneecap. You don't have stainless steel kneecaps yet, titanium, right? But you scraped your kneecap. It happens. I'll show you. I've made many mistakes. I made many mistakes to get to one thing, right? That's what it is. You make many mistakes, right? These are actual books here. You make mistakes, whether it's gambling, whether it's spending money and putting the wrong text together, you make mistakes, right? And there's others, there's more books. In order for me to get to this one, it was a process. In order for me to get to this one, and this one still has probably a few errors in it. And it could probably use another upgrade maybe sometime in the future, possibly. But it took me a while to get here. What is your mistake? What is your mistake? What is your gambling showing you? What lies underneath? And we're going to get into this here with Jim. We're going to give Jim, did I post the link? There we go. Laura says, well, my dad died playing the lottery. Wow. I mean, he was in the hospital. My condolences. I know somebody, well, I don't know them personally, but my mom told me one day that she was in the casino and a lady was playing the slot machine. And I'm gonna have to disconnect something here. Let me hold on a minute. Man, I kind of messed up. Let me change my audio real quick. There we go. Hopefully Okay, let me add you, Jim. Go ahead.
Hey
Go
there,
ahead, Jim.
Santos. Good evening.
Okay,
Can
good.
you hear
No
me?
echoes? Yeah, perfect, perfect. Okay.
All right.
I'll give you here. Let me read the psalm, and then we're going to discuss this topic about what lies underneath. Where am I headed? You were talking on a little bit about that, a little bit deeper. And Laura had posted something there, and I thought it would be fitting for us to look at that. But I want to ask a quick question. Actually, let me read the psalm here, 121. Verses 1 and 2 here. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. I like that. I will lift up my eyes. I will look up. You know, most people that are depressed and they're down and they just feel really rotten. You can tell by the way they walk. They kind of walk typically with their head down and their eyes down, and they're kind of slumped over. But if we want victory, we have to look up. We have to look upwards. We have to, there has to be a new vision. There has to be a direction. Someone said, I believe, Jim, you'll remember this. Someone said, start out with the end in mind. Whatever is out there, it's way out there, it's high. That's where we start out with the end in mind. I think that would be a good topic to get into possibly one of these. Is how do you get it? How do you make that work? The end. How do you bring the end into your life? Um, so my help comes from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. So there's my belief. Where did the earth come from? I believe it was created by a mastermind. How long has it been here? I believe this earth is still fresh in years, very fresh. I disagree that it's millions of years old. And I'll say this too. You know, this earth is actually full of resources. There are a lot of resources. For some reason, they're not digging. They're not digging deep enough. There's a lot of mass confusion. There's a lot of um, what is it? There's a lot of deception going on. But planet Earth, especially here in the United States, we have a lot of different types of things way down in the earth. And the moment that we begin to do that, we're going to find that we can become self sustained. We don't really need any other country. We can do it from within, I believe. I mean, we do need other countries, but the main thing. Yeah, so Jim, let me see. Eric, they say the Earth is 4.5 billion years old and it resets every. That's what they say. Darwin's theory. I don't know. I don't know. There's been some tests done. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, Jim. There have been some tests done, carbon dating testing type stuff, and they have found that the sediment that builds up, let me see, in the oceans, there's a time period, and it shows that there's a lot of similarities that the Earth is fairly young, but we've been so tricked into believing that it's millions of years old and we're wasting the resources and they're gone and we got to buy all this oil and all these things from other places and we're just in debt to them. And anyways, how did I get into that? Gambling's a lie. Thanks for joining in. Oh, DE, hey, welcome. We got a few people joining. So Jim, tell us, you were sharing, you were pointing out that, and I could pull that comment up if you want, and we could look at it a little bit more. I'm sure you probably remember what you were sharing under
Yeah.
that video.
I mean, I think I was commenting about purpose. And is
Mm,
there a purpose beyond addiction? You know, the addictions that we have, whether it be gambling or alcohol, maybe even work, whatever, you know, is there a purpose beyond this stuff? And, you know, we have to really think about, are we just trying to, you know, suppress the pain maybe that we have, you know,
mhm,
because, you know, gambling or alcohol, drugs, whatever, it's something that can be superficial. Sometimes we focus so much on a symptom. You know, we got to stop this symptom, right? Well, there's many tools to stop this symptom, gambling or whatever, right? Yeah, but why? Why are you gambling? Why are you drinking? Why are you doing all this stuff? And
What lies underneath?
yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, it's like, you can it's almost like putting a band-aid on the situation, and, you can do, X, Y, Z, and you can stop your addiction maybe for a little while. But you know what? If you
Mhm.
haven't really figured out what the heck is going on inside in your life, it's chances are you're just going to result back, you know? So I think it's really important to kind of focus on self. If you really want to make big change, that's what you did. You had to look really within yourself. What the hell's going on inside me? Who the heck am I?
Yeah.
Change. Who's that? Someone said change comes from within, something like that. Well, that's. I mean, if you really, really want to get rid of nasty behaviors in your life, you got to figure out where the heck is it coming from. Where did it start? Who am I? And
Yeah.
we were talking about purpose. It's like, is my purpose just to like dull the pain that I'm going through? Is that the purpose? To like go to these places like the casino, or drink my way out of misery, or take these drugs, eat my way
Let,
out of this misery?
let me ask you this. Is it easier to try to defeat the gambling problem or the bet? Whatever it might be. It might be cards. You might be betting on bots, robots. You might be betting on sports robots types things. What do you think, Jim? Is it better to try to attack that, or is it better to go after the root?
I mean, like, maybe
Have you
you
ever
need to
seen
put yourself.
somebody chasing that? Like, I mean, I think I was in that place at one time. I was trying to knock the gambling out, but I wasn't going to the cause. I wasn't really. After a while, I began to see, okay, this is what's going on. I began to see what was, you get an argument can actually send you into a casino.
Hmm. Right,
A bad day at work.
right. Yeah, I'm not saying that you shouldn't attack the symptom, because the symptom is bad. I mean, you were talking about your financial life, if you're talking about gambling, yeah, I mean, like, you're gonna mess up your life financially, your stuff, your food, your shelter, your car, whatever. If you lose all your money, that's bad. You got to go ahead and stop. But in that process, I mean, if you're really, really into trying to turn this boat around, you got to figure out what's going on with self. And I think it really kind of deals with your purpose and your self image too.
Yeah,
How do you see yourself? you know I mean, there's so many things. There's basic things that I think people desire, right? I think one of the things is love, you know um acceptance, belonging, and you know we lived in such a screwed up world, with media and messages and broken families. We get these messed up messages that in order to belong, in order to be someone of worthy, you have to do stupid things, have stupid things, right? And act in a certain way, right? And if you don't live up to those standards, right, what kind of self-image are we going to have if no one has taught us that that's wrong, to believe that nonsense? you
yeah.
know and we just put ourselves down. We don't look upon ourselves in a good way, you
We
know
we
and
we we go what you were talking about earlier. We actually we just become blinder. You become more um you become more blind, you become more bitter if you don't work on yourself, and you find you start blaming other people for your behavior and
that's
for your
right, the blame game.
problems. I was listening to Daniel Green, and he was talking about 48 laws of power. And in uh, one story he shared, he said that there was a CEO of a company that had this idea or an invention, and he had a small group of it was a small staff, and the whole thing, his idea failed. It was a big failure, and he turned around and he blamed it on all these people that were working with him instead of taking responsibility for himself. I mean, became bitter. He was sharing that in his book. And I thought, that's kind of strange that somebody would just do something like that, a small company, and then it doesn't happen. Whatever, the product never launched, and he turns around and he blames it. Something's seriously wrong with that picture. I would be afraid to work for somebody like that. Nevertheless,
Yeah, it's important to really be conscious of what we're saying. You know,
yeah,
I mean, it's easy to blame. Why is it easy to blame? Because, what if I blame myself? How does that make me feel? You know, Even worse, right? It's like, I'm such a loser. Why can't I get anything right? That's tough, right? That's really tough.
yeah,
So what do? We go into survival mode and blame other people, blame the country, blame, this group of people, that political party, this political party, the next door neighbors, whomever, I guess, but you have to really think about that. It's like, you know, stuff happens, I guess. What are you going to do about it? You know?
results.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really about looking at yourself, and it's like, how much self-worth do you have? Do you love yourself enough, to understand the real situation, what's going on, what happened in your life, what happened in the past, and do you have the courage? Do you care about yourself enough to start making some changes? Do you have the courage to move through stuff? You're talking about going through struggles, Santos. I believe, I think there was a book that says, the obstacle or the struggle is the way. How in the world do you
Yeah,
get better? How do you become stronger? You gotta go through it,
yeah,
and by just facing, you know the reality of your situation, not putting yourself down and say, look, here's my situation. This is who I am. This is where I came from. What is it doing to me? Do I like this? You know, if not, okay. You know what? I don't want any more of this stuff. I want to get
yeah.
better, you
In
know?
fact, Jim, honestly, I believe that we don't have a choice. I believe that we don't have a choice. I believe that we must get not just stronger, but we must become more awake. We must become more conscious of ourselves and our surroundings, because if we don't, we're becoming more darkened. You're either growing. I said somebody today I was talking to. I said you're either growing from conversation to conversation, or you're just going from conversation to conversation. I want to get the most that I can for the time I have. Like they say, most more bang for your buck. I didn't always think this way, but today I do. I want to squeeze the most that I can, and time just seems to be going by so quickly. Um, Time seems to be. I was reflecting on this book that I wrote a while back, Life's Three Most Important Questions. This has got quite a few errors in it, but it's got some interesting things. I got, you see, my mind was cluttered. Here's page 5. My mind was cluttered, programmed with all kinds of thought patterns, belief systems that didn't produce. They didn't produce very early on. Into adolescence and adulthood, it wasn't so obvious. My observation is that when you don't know who you are gullible, easily persuaded, and you end up living a life of kind of like musical chairs. You never find the right one to sit on. And believe me, there's lots of music out there. There's lots of music out there along with many different chairs. Isn't that truth? Life is like that. It's like musical chairs. I don't know if you ever played musical chairs. It's kind of a funny game.
Hmm.
You know, is it musical chairs or I don't know what it was, but you run around and you try to find a seat. You end up with no chair.
You know,
That's kind of like the way the world is, man. Everybody's scurrying around. Oh, I gotta find a seat, you know. And it gets to a point where you can't find a seat anymore. Now you're in trouble.
yeah,
Now you're
finding the seat.
down. Now you're down. You know, you're scraping the barrel, man. You're trying to. If you even have dignity left, right? We lose our dignity. We lose not only our money. Is do we lose money first or do we lose dignity first? Is money tied to your dignity and your peace? You know, so what's more important? Why do we have the money? We have the money because it gives us choices. But it does it give you peace? Some people it did, right? If you lose all your money, I think about this. What if you lost all your money and you just didn't have any money, right? You're but if you have ideas and you have a good mind and you're sound and you know you're not like they say you're not fretting. Oh man, you know, I got no money. I might as well jump out the window. What am I going to do? No, there's jobs. Uh, what is that song by Leonard Skinner? It says, "A simple man, go find a woman, go find a woman, and you'll find love." Well, whenever I karaoke to that, I say, "You go find a woman, go find a job, and you'll find love." Anyhow, um, go ahead, Jim. You got something on your mind? I'm looking for questions to see if I have. Gambling makes you feel look like a loser, no different than chasing that next high from doing drugs. It's a little bit of a different process, but nevertheless, it's really deceptive because nobody knows that you're in front of the machine, right? Well, not typing away, but it used to be the handle, but now it's just push button. You can't even, you can't push the button fast enough, right? Those little things are spinning. Your eyes are going like, oh man, I almost won, right? And you're just hitting that button. If it gets any faster, you become addicted faster. You get that the was it the serotonin? Is it the serotonin, the dopamine fix, the dopamine rush? Once you get addicted, once you get dopamine coming from something, you're going to keep going back. You're going to keep going back. You got to sever the dopamine.
You know, I mean, in regards to, I guess tools. If you want to go back to tools, um, how to move away from some type of bad behavior. One thing is to, you got to set a time specific goal that you can work towards. You know, um, y- and here's the thing. It has to be noble too. It has to be something. I mean, you can look at your life and you can say, you know what, something's wrong in my life. This is wrong in my life. What is something that's opposite that I can go ahead and do every day, you know,
Yep.
and reach a certain point in time where I have seriously achieved or accomplished something, and like when I do my exercises, the first lap is the hardest. The pain is there's a lot of pain, and you don't think you're going to go and be able to make it through. All
That's
right.
what David Goggins said.
Yeah. The first day of doing whatever you're trying to do,
Yeah.
you know, um, it's hard. Um, but the thing is that if, if you, build it up day by day, you start creating this like little fortress, this wall, this barrier. I mean, it's a structure that becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. I mean, some people say it's not good to be obsessive, you know, but I think it's okay to be obsessive on this new tack that you're trying to do, you know.
Yeah.
And you were talking about what Stephen Covey talked about, start with the ends in mind, right?
Yeah.
That's your vision. That's your plan. If you can envision it, if you can plan it, if you have it in your mind, believe that it's already done, and just do it. Every day you do something, you do it. You have that one victory. You were talking about before, today I didn't gamble, day by day, moment by moment, micro moment by micro moment.
Mhm.
You write that stuff down, you jot it down, you
Yeah.
know, and it starts building strength, it starts building momentum. Okay. And it
Mhm.
it it it, it really starts, I think it probably did it for you. It started creating a little bit more clarity in your life, right? When you started moving away, from that addictive behavior, right?
Yeah. One
You
door
see,
opens,
yeah,
many. Sometimes
right.
it's weird. Sometimes you work on a goal, and that goal, it's like it expands into all these other areas where you think, man, I got to fix this. I got to fix the other thing. I got to no, fix that one goal, and that'll spread like a spider web. And it makes a lot of other areas easy for you. Well, not easy, but it makes it a little bit more manageable, I guess. I don't think life is going to be easy at all. It just we look for ways to more manageable. Want life to be more manageable. Um, we want to be at peace as much as possible, and that's the key to this whole thing, man. Is waking up with peace, waking up, going to bed with peace, being tranquil. Because if you're at peace, you can get a lot of things done. You can do more. You can support others. Once your peace is gone, and again, money. A lot of people's money is tied. Peace is tied to money. I know there was quite a few people that died, killed themselves when they crashed. Wall Street crashed in '94 or what was it, 90 something. I don't really recall too much of that. I wasn't paying attention, but I heard afterwards. People were literally killing themselves, jumping out of windows. Uh, John Paul uh, was it John Paul Blunt, the Paul Blunt, the famous South Sea bubble. Um, anyhow, so I'm not going to go there. I won't
Yeah.
talk about that. That was a tragedy. That was a
Yeah.
horrible
When
thing
you
that
when
happened.
you talk about, I mean, look at these kinds of things that people are tied to, you know. I mean, I think it you got to be an extraordinary kind of person with that kind of character to really, say, you know what, I lose all my money, I don't care. It's okay, I'll get it back. I mean, that's pretty significant right there. I think that's a cool place to be. That's a neat place to be. You know what? You know, if I lose my money, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. What a wonderful place to be like that versus, you know what, I'm going to jump out a window. Everything is over. I'm terminated because this stuff or this relationship, right? Or, you know, these things that I don't have, you know, I'm ruined because, I'm not that person. I'm not worthy, you know?
Jim, have you ever heard this? Your net worth is replaceable, right? Somebody can give you your net worth, or you can gain your net worth. Basically, if your self worth is not given, you have
Yeah.
to earn that one. That's
Self-worth.
interesting. Self worth, your net worth can be given to you, but your self worth, man, that's one you got to work for.
I think that's
Real quick,
Yeah, I think that's a key word that everyone should really be thinking about, self-worth. What does that mean to you? You know, how can you build that? What is your self-worth tied to? You know, is it tied to things? Is it tied to other people? The way they look at you, your status, the kind of car you drive, the house you live in, your bank account, the likes, on your Facebook. You know, I mean,
yeah,
really think about it. If you think about it, it's like, this stuff, it's superficial. If anything, those things can change, right? And my gosh, what if those things can change? What happens to you? You know, I mean, your self worth should be something that's, a rock, you know,
yeah,
that
yeah.
comes from you.
You have to build it. You have to build it. By the way, I want to just do a little bit of some house cleaning here if I can, because we're coming close to the end of the hour. Um, I appreciate all of you guys that are on here. Carol, welcome. Good to see you here. Overcome fear by doing the work. Procrastinate and addictions probably related. all the way from Canada. Mark DE. I just want to acknowledge a few people, some new faces here. See, there's quite a few numbers. Thank you for hanging out. Again, we're coming close to the end, so don't jump off. I got something for you. DE, thank you for the encouragement. Eric, Brandon, welcome to the broadcast. We're here every Sunday, and there's going to be some changes. I'm not too sure. I may end up moving. I may end up moving, and that process might be a little bit difficult. I'm going to try to keep this broadcast going as much as possible, but I'm just letting you know if the broadcast doesn't show, then you know it's temporarily suspended. It'll be a temporary thing. Um, and the rest of you, Laura, Mark, and of course Jim, Keith. Hey, Keith, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. And Race is on what is it, 7 months? He's is it Race or Mark Cameron? Man, I'm getting Mark Cameron here. I get a lot of comments from different people, so I apologize if I get a little mixed up. But he's doing good. Mark Cameron is on is it anyways, you guys posted there. I'm inviting you to get a copy of this little red book. It supports this mission. It helps me help others, support others around the world. You can actually get a copy of this little red book at Amazon. You can go to Amazon and just you'll find the book, and it makes a great gift, I believe. Yeah, it's a little bit of an unusual book, but it'll get you thinking, and that's what you want. You read something to get you thinking. It's not too much important what's in here; it's what it does for you and get you thinking. Because even one word or one text in this book that helps turn it around for you is well worth the few dollars that you spent. It was a little investment. So support the mission. The other book that I have, well, I don't have it here with me. It's 15-minute mornings right there on my side. There, there it is. 15-minute mornings, Breakfast of Champions, little meditation book, Amazon. Support the mission. I'd appreciate it. And I'm also doing, I got a few more journals. If you want a journal, you want me to send you a journal, just send me an address. As long as it's within the United States, I'll send you journals free, completely free. These are cool, man. I got a few of them left. They're little guided journals. Maybe I can get some more. Um, yeah, I love these little things. They got little comments inside. It helps you, especially for those that are, if you're kind of lazy, it'll it'll kind of help you guide your day and stuff like that. So we're coming to the end of the broadcast. Hopefully, I've been able to answer a question or two for those of you that came here tonight and you didn't waste your time. Because again, if you waste your time here, don't waste your time, right? I mean, if I'm not supporting you in some way and you're coming here and you're going to spend 40 minutes of your time, don't stay here. Only stay if you feel supported. Because as I said, you grow from conversation to conversation. You just don't go from conversation to conversation. If you're just going, that's you got to find the other way around. You got to grow from conversation to conversation. Every Sunday that we get together, you should grow stronger. You should be more in tune into who you are and where you're going and what you want. The reason why most gamblers don't stop is because they don't know, like you mentioned, if you don't know what you want. If you don't know what you want, it's suicide. It's double-minded. James 3:8, I believe, in the Proverbs, that says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, not just a few. An unstable, an undecided man is unstable in all his ways. All right, I've said enough. I've been preaching here for 30 minutes. Jim, I'm going to give you the last before I do my call to action. And again, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Shout out to LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah.
Another drink.
Yeah. I just, the thing is, don't stop searching. You know, over in Tucson, there's something called a Texas Ranger. It's a plant. It's usually kind of like dull gray, but at certain times of the year, it'll start blossoming these beautiful purple flowers. It's like, and all of a sudden, all the flowers are, are triggered. There's something, right, in the temperature, the season, something, humidity, whatever, it triggers, those flowers to bloom. And there's something, you know, in our lives that will trigger, s- a new focus, new ideas, something that will open up our minds to, our purpose, a better self-worth, you
Exactly.
know, and you just have to keep searching. You got to keep searching. You got to keep reading. You have to keep looking. There's going to be a trigger that's going to help you see something in a new perspective, a new point of view. It's like, oh my gosh, that makes a lot of sense. And what does that take? It takes, coming to this show. It takes reading your books. It takes watching videos. Talking to other people. You know, um,
Mhm.
for self improvement. You know, very important.
Especially
And
if
if
you're
you keep
struggling. Yeah,
the struggle, yeah,
I
that's the
agree.
mountain that we climb, right?
Especially if you're struggling. Yeah.
Right. So
So,
yeah, keep searching. There, you're gonna find that catalyst. You're gonna find it. It's just gonna go and blow up, in a positive way.
yep, if it's cold out there and it's wet, you need to come inside. You need to stay near the fire. Um, Somebody said, Santos, why would I want you to coach me? Why would? Well, let me ask you, do you have a real problem with gambling? Are your relationships broken and severed? Is your money in shambles? Right? How do you sleep at night? You sleep good? No. Well, how are you going to get out of it? I don't know, man. I'm just going to hope. Most of the successful people in the world, most of them, of course, they have a lot of money too. But you don't have to have a lot of money to get a coach, right? I've paid coaches in my own personal life, but I noticed that if you want to get there faster, you can go by yourself. Right? If you want to get there fast, go by yourself. If you want to go all the way, you're going to need alliance. So I say to people, well, the reason why I offer coaching is because I've been there and I've done that. And I'm kind of at the top of the mountain when it comes to problem gambling and addiction and trauma type things. So I believe I've got something to share. I believe I can help others possibly get to that mountaintop. Because once you get to the mountaintop, you can see that you can see you have a better vision of your city. You have a better vision of what's around you. Right. The lower you are, the less you see. The higher you go, man, that vision becomes very, very clear. You begin to really see. It's just, again, it's like it's an awakening. It's I don't like using the term born again because that's biblical, but it is an awakening when you start moving. It's just that trip. It's that struggle, and we're all heading like who was it that said here? We're all in this here. Here we go. De said, "I love this podcast. Keep it up." And it's true. We're all trying to fill a void um, with casino gambling. We're all trying to fill a void without casino gambling, and whether it's casino or some other type of thing, cards or, and again, gambling's a metaphor. You could be gambling with something else. Maybe you're driving a car with bald tires. Believe me, that was true. My daughter was driving a car with the wires were sticking out of the tires, like three of them. And you can see that unless you go inside and look underneath. And one day I just decided to look at her car. She got a baby, three bald tires with the wires, the belts were sticking out of the tires. You think that's a gamble? I'm glad I caught it. That is a gamble. So um, I said what I had to say. Here's my call to action. And by the way, difficulty is showing you what? What is difficulty showing you? What is your problem revealing? How do you see your problem? How do you see this thing? Is it a problem or is it an opportunity? I would take 15 minutes. Here's my call to action. Take 10 to 15 minutes of closing your eyes and just meditating about where you want to go. If you feel that you're in doubt, take 10 to 15 minutes and meditate. Just close your eyes and meditate and think about where you want to go. Very simple. 10 to 15 minutes out once in the morning, in the evening, or throughout the day. Close your eyes and think about where you want to go. Or go to the mirror. Talk to the mirror. I've had some really good mirror talks with myself lately. I don't do it all the time, but every once in a while, just get yourself in front of the mirror and have a good talk with yourself. Very encouraging, very motivating, and it's very deep when you look into your eyes and you start saying things, and then you keep repeating those. Right, your good life is going to come out of a good series of good, constant, positive reminders. We need reminders. We need environment. We need standards around us. Well, thank you guys, Jim. Hopefully, somebody will take my call to action there. I know I need to keep doing it. Um, it is what it is, and I'm going through one of the most difficult times of my life this year, this whole year. You know, and I'm just going to keep going, stay focused on where I need to go. You know, if it falls apart somewhere, somehow I'll be able to fix it. If you're going forward with focus, you'll be able to fix things in your life. All right. Laura, Jim, if you want to share one last word, we're done here.
Yeah, just yeah, Santos. Yeah, reach out to us. Let us know how we can help. If we can help in any way, we'll be happy to help you. Okay, any kind of support, because we appreciate your show and we appreciate what you do. Soldiers of self mastery, you know, and soldiers help one another. And just let you know that We're here for you just as much as you're here for us. So
Well,
please,
thank
please
you.
keep that in mind.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. Hey, as long as you guys are here and we support each other in some way that we can, that motivates me. That keeps me going. Because I do learn a lot by coming to this broadcast. Sometimes I'm preparing during the week a little bit, meditating, and then sometimes I just have Saturday, or I mean Saturday or Sunday, to really get into thoughts and thinking about where do we go. So if you guys have a topic in mind, and thank you, Jim. If you have a topic in mind and you would like to talk about that topic, something that we normally don't talk about here, we're all unique. You have special abilities on the other side. I'm not, the more that I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know. Hopefully, you think that way too. So I'm open to ideas. And if you have something that we can talk about, bring it up. Let me know. You can shoot me an email. I think the thing is scrolling down below. I think you can still see that. You can send me an email there and we can take it from there. So, with that said, my friends, I'm going to see you at the top on at the top on the inside on my next one, making every day super fantastic, terrific, and over the top. And remember that your good life is going to come out of a good series of good, constant, positive reminders. And not least, gambling is a lie. I might have forgotten to say that. I don't know. Sometimes I forget. I got to remind you so. Gambling is a lie. Thanks, Jim, for hanging out.
Thank you, Santos. You have a wonderful week.
You
Take
too.
care.
You guys
See you
all be
next Sunday.
safe. And we'll see you guys next Sunday, 7 p.m. Lord willing.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.